The time is precisely 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Chandima Veerakon. Headlines. The central bank governor says that the inflation in the country will drop further. The Minister of Power says that it is hoped to re-begin the oil refinery activities in Sapakaskhanda. It has been stressed that the issues existing in the health sector can be managed. The kerosene oil required for fisheries sector will be provided from tomorrow. Chairman of UNP says that political stability is needed to rescue the country. In news overseas, at least 26 people dead in Algeria due to forest fire. Local stories in detail. The central bank believes that the inflation in the country will reduce further. Participating in a media briefing held today, the governor of the central bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, said that the foreign currency shortage in the country is also dropping gradually. He also stated that the foreign exchange needed for essential goods such as petrol, diesel and gas is being prepared. The stability in the level of prices has been created. It is expected to maintain the interest rate as it is. He pointed out that the existing situation will further ease through the presentation of the forthcoming budget and the multi-policy system. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that the operational activities in the Sapakaskhanda oil refinery is expected to recommence during the next few days. The minister had a discussion with the commercial management and refinery officials of the Petroleum Corporation in this regard. According to his Twitter message, attention has been paid on importing crude oil from September to December. Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Janaka Sri Chandragupta, says that the ministry is ready to manage any issues existing in the health sector. He stated that there are 14 life-saving medicinal varieties in the country. Therefore, people should not panic due to the shortage of medicine. The standard of medicinal drugs will be tested by a technical committee before purchasing. He made these remarks participating in the Subhati program of the SLBC. He further said that the government has already granted necessary finances for the maintenance of health network. He also pointed out that the ministry is spending 250 billion rupees for the supply, production and distribution of medicinal drugs annually. Minister Douglas Devananda says that the kerosene oil required for all fishermen will be provided from tomorrow. He also stated that the crude oil needed for refinery process has already been received and plans have been made to bring kerosene oil through private sector. He further stated at a media briefing held in Jaffna that all possible measures have been taken to solve the fuel crisis faced by the fishing community within 4 days. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, Chairman of the UNP, parliamentarian Wajra Bewardena, says that a strong political stability is needed to rescue the country from bankruptcy. He said that the president has stated earlier that groups who love the country should get together to develop the country. It is essential that all political parties and groups seek solutions for the problems faced by the people. He made these remarks participating in the Dasadesen Hatata program of the SLBC today. He also emphasized the need of an unchangeable national policy in this regard. Attention has been paid on the system of open account to import maize and soya for the animal food. Minister Mahinda Amaravira is expected to submit a proposal to the cabinet requesting permission for this purpose. He also reiterated that there is a problem of purchasing maize and soya for the production of animal food. Therefore, the farmers and businessmen who are engaged in poultry production are facing many difficulties. The nutritional level of people have come down. The minister said that this decision has been taken considering all facts. To conclude the local news, the headlines again. The central bank government says that the inflation in the country will drop further. The Minister of Power says that it is hoped to re-begin the oil refinery activities in Sapakaskanda. It has been stressed that the issues existing in the health sector can be managed. The kerosene oil required for fisheries sector will be provided from tomorrow. Chairman of UNP says that political stability is needed to rescue the country. That ends the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And on the main news story, Minister Manu Shananayakara says speedy measures have been taken regarding complaints received on misplaced goods that are sent through cargo services by the migrant workers. Investigations have been conducted on institutions that supply cargo services to look into this matter. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Our correspondent says that all construction work for the development of Karapitia Teaching Hospital in Galle has already been suspended midway. It has also been reported that patients are facing severe hardship due to improper functioning of dental surgeries unit, special children disease unit and minor surgeries unit of the hospital. The people from many districts are visiting the hospital to obtain the services. People request the relevant authorities to begin reconstruction work of the hospital buildings in order to provide health facilities. That ends Watch Light.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Headlines of the world news. At least 26 people dead in Algeria due to forest fire. The US and Taiwan announced formal bilateral trade talks. Dog infected with monkeypox prompts isolation warning. At least 26 people have been killed and dozens more injured in forest fires that have devastated northern Algeria. Kamal Beljoud, the country's interior minister, said 24 died in El Taf near the border with Tunisia, as well as a mother and daughter in Satif. Firefighters supported by helicopters were still trying to contain several blazes last evening. Reports say some 350 residents have been evacuated in various provinces. The Civil Protection Agency said that El Taf was the worst hit area with 16 fires in progress. The US has announced that they will begin formal trade negotiations with Taiwan weeks after a controversial visit by US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The first round of talks are expected to begin in early fall, said the Office of US Trade Representative. The discussion will include talks on trade facilitation, digital trade and anti-corruption standards. Relations between the US and China have been increasingly tense following Ms. Pelosi's visit. The US-Taiwan Initiative on 21st Century Trade was first unveiled in June, with both sides now saying they had reached consensus on the negotiating mandate. A dog has been infected with monkeypox after catching the virus from its owner, the World Health Organization has said. It's the first case of its kind, and health leaders say isolating from pets when infected is important. The WHO also warned of the need to get rid of rubbish carefully to reduce the risk of infecting other animals. There is no evidence that dogs can transmit the disease to other dogs or humans, an expert said. Monkeypox spreads through close skin-to-skin contact and also when someone touches fabrics such as clothing, bedding or towels, which have been used by someone with the virus. To end the world news, the headlines again. At least 26 people dead in Algeria due to forest fire. The US and Taiwan announced formal bilateral trade talks. Dog infected with monkeypox prompts isolation warning. That ends the world news. Taking a look at development news, 31 proposals to develop agri-wells and dilapidated roads in the southern province have been implemented. 6.7 million rupees will be spent in this regard. That ends the development news. Up next is the sports news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
And on sports news, England were put under huge pressure by some tremendous South Africa bowling before rain wiped out most of the opening day of the first test at Lord's. Put in to bat in testing conditions, the home side were reduced to 116 for 6 by relentless Proteas-paced attack. Enrique Norgé, bowling in excess of 90 miles per hour, claimed 3 for 43, while Kagiso Rabada showed great skill for his 2 for 36. Only Ollie Pope, unbeaten on 61, was able to come through the stern examination, and he needed the fortune of being dropped on 45. 5 England batters were out for single-figure scores, including opener Zach Crawley, who managed only 9 to extend his run of test innings without a half-century to 13. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, CBSL, has decided to maintain the Standing Deposit Facility Rate, or the SDFR, and the Standing Lending Facility Rate, SLFR, of the Central Bank at their current levels of 14.50% and 15.50%, respectively. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
And on economic news, Singer Sri Lanka, a premier retail company, has been manufacturing high-quality furniture and water pumps since 1993 to cater to the ever-growing consumer needs. Singer's local manufacturing strength is one that differentiates the company from the rest in the industry, while the company has clearly identified the local consumers' needs to provide them with a modern range of furniture and water pumps. Its local manufacturing is backed by latest technologies, equipment, and a well-streamlined production process. That ends the economic news. And finally, we take a look at the weather report. The Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in central, over, eastern, and north-central provinces during the evening or at night. A few showers may occur in western and Sabaragamu provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. That ends the weather report. And to conclude this bulletin of news, the headlines again. The central bank governor says that the inflation in the country will drop further. The Minister of Power says that it is hoped to re-begin the oil refinery activities in Sapakaskanda. It has been stressed that the issues existing in the health sector can be managed. The kerosene oil required for fisheries sector will be provided from tomorrow. Chairman of UNP says that political stability is needed to rescue the country. In news overseas, at least 26 people dead in Algeria due to forest fire. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.